There it was again, that unmistakable feeling that started as a small tingle in my toes. Quite literally it would start to travel up, moving through my legs and gaining intensity. I felt it hit my stomach, then my chest, but I couldn't stop it. If only they could understand. I really did want to stop it, but my words were trapped in the back of my throat. I fought it with everything in my soul. The tingling had turned to heat, and I felt, I imagined, somewhat like being engulfed by searing lava. Only this burned from inside, and I could not run from it. It made me want to scream, "I'm mad!" But I couldn't form the words to warn them. This only added to the feeling of anger that was building inside my little body. I tried desperately to tell my unsuspecting parents before, but it was too late. The lava had reached my mouth, and all I could do was spew and screech unintelligible words at them. The image of my stunned parents would fade, as the onslaught of tears would set in, and my mind would fall into darkness. Once again, I had lost all control. It was a dreaded feeling, and though it hasn't occurred in many years, I can still remember it as though it had just happened. I was the child every parent hoped they wouldn't have. My childhood was made up of raging temper tantrums that would seemingly come from nowhere and go on, sometimes up to 4 hours at a time. I was inconsolable, violent, and becoming a danger to myself and my parents. It even got to the point that my mom would have to sit on me for the duration of the tantrum because I would break down the door to get out of my room. From age 2 to 5 this lasted, and it was obvious to myself, even then, and my parents, that there was something wrong. With some basic research and a lot of trial and error, my mother took the first tentative step into our very long, strenuous, and eventually beautiful journey through the world of autism. Navigating through all the contradicting information about autism is almost impossible, but with a little luck, we stumbled upon our solution: horses. These animals have a connection with each other and with humans that is so beneficial, at times it seems unreal. However, their connection with those on the spectrum takes it one step further. Firstly, one must understand that in an autistic brain, there is a lacking of the brain chemical called oxytocin, which works as a stress reliever and can also help with bonding. When riding a horse, there is an elevated production of oxytocin in the brain. Any sort of rocking motion of the pelvis releases this chemical. So naturally, the more rocking motion from the horse, the happier and more responsive the child. It was also discovered in a recent study done by Dr. Philip Tedeschi, an animal specialist from the Denver University, that by simply touching an animal, this chemical is released. In fact, the same amount of oxytocin that is produced when a mother touches her child is produced in the same small interaction with an animal. A single touch. There is an amazingly beneficial connection that can be used by anyone and everyone. But going back to the autistic perspective of things, there is an even greater, an immensely beneficial connection between someone on the spectrum and these creatures.